It's the first time we've been back in March. We've had, 4 months now that we've been virtual. But today we are both virtual and live. So how about that? We're going to try something new. Are we rolling? Oh, okay. So we're on the TV. Okay, so folks, thank you so much for coming. It looks like a lot of people are just dying to get out, and so will we. So anyway, it's great turnout. Sorry we couldn't allow more. We had a fixed number we could allow in here, and we reached that capacity. And hopefully soon we'll allow more. But, we have to play it by ear. As we all know, it's a day-to-day thing. Now, everyone's gotten their food, it looks like. I believe they're going to be bringing dessert around to everyone. So you don't have to go get it. They're going to bring it to you. Is that correct? Am I right on that? And then they're going to pick up your plates as well. So anyway, you got some more food coming, folks. First of all, I want to thank our sponsors. We could not do these meetings without some sponsors that help cover the cost of putting these on. To be honest with you, the price you pay to attend these things does not really cover all the costs. So we rely on sponsors to help us with that, and I'm going to just go through the list real quick. We have IAC, Trustmark Bank, Methodist Hospital North, Southern Security, SunTrust Bank, which is our host today. We have Memphis Funeral Homes, First Horizon, and St. Francis Hospital here in Bartlett. And we thank all of them for being our sponsor throughout the year. And they've been very gracious and very patient with us during this unique time that we're in. And even during the virtual meetings, they have continued to be our sponsor. So we appreciate that. Okay, we start the meetings with our invocation and the pledge. So I'm going to ask Jack Chitwood, Deacon at Ave Maria, to come up and please lead us in that.
Father in heaven, as we come to you in prayer, we thank you for all your many blessings and gifts, especially the gift of life, the gift of love, and the gift of our various faiths. We ask that you continue to bless us all, bless this community and our country, the United States of America. We pray that you will be with all affected by the pandemic and that you will give those that are helping with aid and care your special blessing. And for those that are searching for cure and comfort, we ask that your wisdom and mercy be with them all. We ask that you bless the food that we're partaking of, bless those that have prepared it, those that have served it, and those of us that will consume it for our nourishment. We pray that you comfort and sustain those who do not have enough to eat. And as always, we say a special prayer for those who have no one to pray for them. And if we'll stand, please. Amen. Stand, please. We do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I took your notes.
Thank you, Jack. Oh, you took my notes. You didn't do that now. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Ava Maria was our sponsor last month, actually, and it was virtual. So we usually have Jack come and give the invocation, so he came today. So that works out real well. Now, for those of you who's watching us virtually the last 4 months, really, you know that we started something that I think it's kind of caught on, and some people expect us to continue this. So throughout this meeting, we're going to be having Q&A. I ask a question. Those watching only, this only applies to those who are watching on the stream, okay? They can chat in with the answer, and the first one to get it in correctly gets a prize, okay? Now, for those of you who are here, we can't leave you out, so we have door prizes for you. Now, do we have the fishbowl? Did everybody put their business cards in the fishbowl? Do I have that fishbowl? Anyone? Staff? Here we go. Okay, so I will be drawing names. So every time that we ask, and go ahead and put your business cards in there, okay? Yes, if you hadn't already do it. No double dipping either now. You already got it in there once, that's it. Chris, I know this will be your 5th time you put your business card in there. So, okay. So, we've got a very exciting meeting with you today. It's always a tradition that we recognize our elected officials, and I think most of you all know that Congressman David Kustoff is our key speaker today. So here's David over here. We also have our Senator, Paul Rose over here, drove all the way in from Covington. And of course, there's Mark Brown, who's not an elected official, but he is the guy that you go to, right? Is that right, Mark? And I don't want to leave out our chairman, okay, and that's Chris Locke over here, and the CEO of St. Francis Hospital, Bartlett. So that's the VIP table over here, folks, okay? Okay, so I'm going to ask a question, and let's see here. Okay, now this is just for those who are watching virtually, okay? The other guys, give me that fishbowl. Bring that fishbowl up here. Huh? Oh, good, okay. So, here's the question. What facility is currently under construction at the northwest corner of Brother Boulevard and Appling? Okay? No, you can't answer that, Craig. So, if y'all are watching, chat that in. First person with the correct answer will win a prize. Now, for those here, if you trust me, Daniel Minnick. Daniel, where are you? Way back there. Okay, Dan. No, you just stay seated. Well, we got a prize for you up here. So don't forget. See, the only thing you have to do is remember that you won. Okay? Now, some people will have a problem with that. I know 1 or 2 people in this audience that would have a problem with that. Okay. So, it's also customary that we give the sponsor for this meeting a little spot where they come up and they talk about who they are and all that. But SunTrust is our sponsor, but they have a very strict protocol, and they do not want their employees to mix and mingle. Okay, so they've asked me to give a little comments about SunTrust. So I'm going to read this to you, okay? SunTrust and BB&T, in case you're not familiar, have combined in a historic merger of equals to create Trussit. Some of you may be familiar with this if you read the business section of the paper. This will be the 6th largest U.S. bank holding company, okay, with 275 years of combined history serving clients and communities in high-growth markets. Our new company will deliver the best of both companies' talent, technology, and processes. At Trussit, our purpose is to inspire and build better lives and communities. Every day, the pursuit of better drives us, pursuit of being better, to empower clients with more choice, teammates with more fulfillment, and communities with more hope. We boldly believe in the power of what we can achieve together. So, SunTrust, thank you very much, and we look forward to your new merger and the new company Trussit. I don't think they have a brand yet that's come out or a logo. Okay, so thank you very much, SunTrust. Okay, so now I'm going to give you another question, okay, and/or prize. So here comes the next one, folks. Okay, what Bartlett company is the Mid-South's largest maker of fried pork rinds? If you know the answer to that, chat it in, okay? And for those here, okay, here we go. Another door prize. Bob Browder. Where are you, Bob? No, just keep your seat. Just remember, I've got the list up here. You have to remember that you won something, okay? Okay, so, all righty. So the next thing we got going here on the agenda is we've got the chamber update. And Marley, that's you, so I'm going to ask you to come on up. And, you know, I've got this thing here, but we got another one, too, so I don't know which one you want. So.
Should we just leave this up here?
Good.
Hello. Is that working okay? I'm Marley Young, Director of Marketing and Communications with the Chamber. I haven't seen a lot of you in a long time, so I obviously have some news. Nice to see you all. Thank you very much for coming, and thanks for keeping in contact with me during all of these very quiet months where everybody's staying in their office and not getting out and socializing. So I have a couple things to go over.
Go ahead.
Thank you. First of all, we just wanted to recognize some of our new members. We still are having a lot of interaction with new members, doing Chamber 101, and people still joining. And even though a lot of people kind of hid away for a little while, we're still very active at the Chamber. And we wanted to just give a shout out to Chamber Directory Services. They're actually here with us today. Blair Stevenson's going to get up here later and talk about the directory that's going to be in our upcoming magazine that's going to be published next month. Then we also wanted to say thank you for joining to Heartbeat CPR, MAPS Business Coaching, McCulley Allergy, Sinus and Asthma, People First, Urgent and Primary Care, and AAA Insurance. So I don't think there's representatives from any of the rest of those companies with us today other than Chamber Directory Services, but thank you very much for joining the Chamber. Thank you for all of your support always. I'm just going to go over our brief upcoming events. Obviously, we're still on hold for most of our major events and tentative in a lot of planning. But the things that we can continue to do are virtual events and some very small social distanced events at our office. So we are still we're still doing ribbon cuttings, and I've mentioned that in the past couple virtual lunches that if you didn't have a ribbon cutting, or if you're a new member and you didn't have one, or if you are an older member and you never had one, we would love to do a ribbon cutting with you. Generally, they're outside. We feel very safe holding them. We've done quite a few recently, and they're excellent publicity. We have a great time. So we are still organizing those, and I have two coming up, one in August and one in September. So if you want to join us for US Donuts, that's on Thursday, August 27th. They're on 70. They've been a member for a while, and they're doing a rebrand, moving from their current name of, what are they called, Savannah? Daylight Donuts, sorry. Sometimes I'm a little 2 beats off these days. And moving to US Donuts. So that's on August 27th. And then the American Recovery Centers, they're in Bartlett also. And their ribbon cutting is on September 17th. Those are both listed on our calendar if you want to join us. And then we're doing Chamber 101, which is for new members, but also if you are onboarding new employees and want to get them familiar with the Chamber and what we have to offer, meet our staff, meet some other new members. We're holding a really small capacity, what we feel like we can socially distance in the conference room at the Chamber. So we have one coming up on the September 10th and one on September 24th. So you can register for both of those online. They're a good time. We feed you breakfast. They're in the morning on a Thursday. So for us, that's kind of all we have set in stone, but we're definitely going to do another virtual Staying Ahead of the Curve in September. I'll release all the details of that when I have it. And then moving on from events, I want to introduce Terry Mecklin. She is the president of our Ambassadors Club, and she's going to award the Ambassador of the Month, which you guys that have been to meetings in person, you know this is what we do this monthly. And I just want to say thank you again. Thank you for your continued support, and it is wonderful having all of you here.
Thank you so much. All right, excited to be here and representing the ambassadors, and we have our Ambassador of the Month, son of Dana Williams. Are we having her come up to get her award?
If she wants to come up, yeah, where is she?
There she is, in the very back. So Dana, come on up. And Dana is with Action Advertising, and so congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's see here. Let's see, are we ready for another Q&A? Okay, here we go. Third question, only those watching virtually. Who represents Tennessee's District 8 in the U.S. House of Representatives? Okay, if you know that answer, chat it in, okay? And for those who are here, let's see here. Okay, Bill Essery, you've got something. I don't know what it is, but just remember that you come up and say, hey, where's my gift, and we'll bring it to you, okay? We'll decide what it is later. Okay, so chat in those questions. We should be accumulating those answers here real soon. We'll see. Okay. The next thing on the program here is our community updates, and we want to make you aware of some things that are going on. The first thing we want to make you aware of is that there's a new person in town who is going to be doing everything she can to make Bartlett look as wonderful as it really is. Right, Pamela? So Pamela Mirabella is the new editor-in-chief of the Bartlett Express. She comes here from the metropolis of Camden, Tennessee, right? Or New Johnsonville, one of the two, I'm not sure which. I don't know if that's in your district, Congressman. It is, okay, good. Okay, so Pamela, we asked Pamela, she'd just be on the job less than a month, or maybe a month? 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So Pamela, one of the first things she did was come by the chamber and introduce herself. And anyway, we kind of went around, did a little 50-cent tour. Did I give you 50 cent or 25-cent tour? 25-cent tour, yeah, okay. Got to come back and give her another 25-cent tour. Anyway, so Pamela, we want to bring her up and introduce her and just let her tell you a little bit about what her mission and vision is, okay?
Well, I'm Pamela Mirabella. I'm the new editor over at the Bartlett Express, and the same publishing company owns the Bartlett Express that owns the Camden Chronicle and about 18 other newspapers in the state of Tennessee. It's owned by Magic Valley Publishing and Dennis Richardson. So they purchased several papers over in West Tennessee, Bartlett Express being one of them. And when the publisher found out that I was actually relocating here, my husband just took over the PMC Biogenics plant as plant manager. So when they found out I was coming here, I actually went to resign. I was like, I'm moving to West Tennessee. I'm going to go ahead and retire early. And he wouldn't accept my resignation. So he said, we have a paper over in West Tennessee called the Bartlett Express. We want you to do there what you did here, and that's turn it into a hometown newspaper. So that's what I specialize in, what I call refrigerator media. And that means you're going to want to cut out pictures out of my paper and put it on your refrigerator. So I haven't met anyone. Strangely enough, the congressman's the most familiar face here to me. So we've met several times. So if you would please take time to come up and introduce yourself. I've brought cards. We've put the newspaper on your table. As you see, we've already made a change. I've been here 3 weeks, and you will only read local news in our newspaper. And that's my promise to you. So thank you for welcoming me to Bartlett.
Okay, the next person we want to bring up is Mark Thompson, who needs no introduction, but I'll introduce him anyway. Come on, Mark. Come on up. So you got something you want to tell us about. Come on up.
I do.
Don't be shy.
I'm gonna be loud.
Oh.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
So, first of all, I'd like to welcome a fellow journalist to Bartlett. Yay, I'm a journalism grad. So, what V2 Media typically does is help companies tell stories, tell their story, engage their customers, which is what we're working on now with the Bartlett Chamber and John. We're reaching out to small businesses in Bartlett and offering to help create web video, web commercial for you and your company. So it's all about getting Bartlett back to business, and if there's a way that we can help you do that, then we're more than happy to do so. And as they say, roll that beautiful bean footage.
Hello, this is John Threadgill, President of the Bartlett Area Chamber of Commerce, and I'm here to tell you about an exciting new initiative that we have in partnership with V2 Media. We approached them to ask them what could we do to enhance a lot of our members in reaching out to a larger audience. So what we're offering now is an opportunity to do some in-house videos that we are going to distribute on our social media, our website, and every other medium that we have. The cost of this is very, very nominal. And so in order to get this thing up and running, we want to offer the first 10 Bartlett Chamber members who contact us a half price on this. In other words, the Bartlett Chamber will pay for half the cost of this. We feel like this is something that we can do for our members in this extraordinary time in which we're living. So, if you want to know more information, please contact Marley Young at the Bartlett Chamber at 372-9457. And by the way, here's a clip of a video that we've already done for one of our Bartlett businesses, Pat's Prints. We hope to hear from you soon. Thank you very much. Pat's Prints and Custom Framing is a family-owned and operated business right in the heart of Bartlett. During this time, we are taking extra precautions while working with our customers. We are practicing social distancing and wearing our masks. You can feel safe in our shop while browsing our great selection of framed art ready to take home, or while choosing the perfect combination of mats and framing for your custom art. We specialize in photography, diplomas, sports memorabilia, and so much more. Come shop with us and support your local business.
Just an added word, that voiceover talent would cost you double, so you don't have to use that particular voiceover talent. You can, if you want, use your own talent. So, thank you, John.
Thank you, Mark. Yeah. Yeah, that voiceover, I walked into the studio and Mark handed me a script and said, hey, read this. I said, well, what is this? He said, well, Henry over at Pat's Prints, he wouldn't do it. So I got sucked into that. And like he said, if you want me to do it, it's going to cost you double. Okay, let's see here. Next person I'm going to bring up is Blair Stevenson. Now let me just give you a real interesting story about Blair here. Marley somehow, and I forget exactly how it happened, but anyway, they connected, okay? And Marley comes to me in the office. She says, you know, John, there's somebody here in Bartlett whose business is in Bartlett, and they do directory listings for chambers of commerce across the country. I said, what? There's no such thing. In Bartlett, and I don't know about it? No. So anyway, I said, well, call him. Bring him in. He's probably a scam artist. I'll figure him out. So anyway, she contacts him, and he comes in, and we get to talking. It turns out that we have a mutual history. We go back almost 30 years with a company that he worked for, and then I dealt with quite a bit when I was at the Memphis Chamber many, many years ago. So anyway, we realized that there was a lot of commonality between us. And so I looked at Marley and I said, no, I think the guy's legit. But anyway, this guy here in Bartlett, with Chamber Directory Services, is the leader in the country of helping chambers of commerce throughout the country do listings, okay? So when I was talking about listings, you know, in the directory, I mean the magazine that you see there, the Chamber magazine, in the very back is a listing of all our members. Well, he adds a little extra to that, and I'm going to ask Blair to come up and talk about that real quickly, because we're going to offer it to our members. How about that? Come on up.
How's everybody doing? The name of the company is Chamber Directory Services. Thanks for the introduction. What we do is we work with chambers and chamber publishing companies across the country to help them generate non-dues revenue and also help the members stand out within the publication. We offer, there's a slide, I think, and here we go. People may ask, why enhance your listing? You know, you get a free listing with your membership in every chamber, but you want to stand out of your competition and support the chamber and the community. You reach new businesses looking to move into the area, inquiring about goods, services, also new homeowners or residents moving into the area. And then tourists. There's a lot of tourists coming into the city. You want to reach them. Here's a sample of some various listings that we do across the country. This may not be the same format that John wants to do, but I'm sure something similar. Color logos, box listings, and bold print. Now here's a sample of a standard basic listing. You have a logo. Over here would be a box listing, and then of course, I think that says elevator services, it's a bold red. So there's various ways to stand out. And that's just a portion of what we do. We also help with ad sales, display advertising. If the chamber needs that, we can do that. So we're excited. We're just joined the chamber with John, and we're excited to see how this new publication goes. I think we'll be kicking off here shortly.
Yeah, very soon.
Yeah, next week or two.
Yep. All right.
All right.
Thank you, Blair. Blair had a long way to drive to get here. He's right over here by Stewart Brothers. Took you about 2 minutes maybe, but you didn't know the shortcut. So anyway, we're looking forward to that. And so, deal is, if you get something in the mail or something in the email and it's about this enhanced listing, pay attention. I mean, it's not something, it's no scam, it's no junk mail, it's real legitimate stuff. And he, like I said, he's the premier company in the country doing these type things. So anyway, we're delighted to be able to work with him, and it's great that he's based right here in Bartlett, Tennessee. Okay, so last but not least, I know that many of you the last month or two saw this thing that the Chamber was doing in cooperation or in partnership with First South Financial about unsung heroes. And what we were doing was trying to identify people in this community that were going up and above the standard as far as helping the community or being of service to the community, because this is very unique times. And it's kind of like when the internet started. Nobody knew exactly what to do, right? So that's kind of what we're in right now. And how do you deal with this type of situation that we're in? But a lot of people stepped forward and started doing things that they didn't have to do, but they felt compelled to do it because they wanted to give back to the community and they care about the community. And so we started this Unsung Heroes, and we asked people to nominate various citizens here in Bartlett who they felt like deserved recognition, okay? So we had a number of nominations, and there was a committee that went through all the nominations and selected the one person that we thought stood out among all the others. So we are here to recognize the person who has received this. And oh, by the way, it's not just that they get this little old plaque and everything. They get a $500 gift certificate to be used anywhere they want. So our winner, Unsung Hero, Carolyn Joint. Carolyn, please come on up. Carolyn, how you feel?
Overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed. Oh, good. That's the way we want you to feel. So, Carolyn, tell everybody a little bit about what you've been doing.
Well, I'm not the only person
Oops,
that's been.
stick that up now.
Oh, well.
Way up.
My passion has been making masks. And thanks to my daughter for encouraging me, she said, "Oh, Mom, you can do that." And I thought, yes, I can. So I got out my trusty Google and I found a pattern, and I've been doing this since the middle of March. How many I've done, I don't know. I lost count at like 220. But they've gone out through the Bartlett area. They've gone to, actually I sent some to NASA in Huntsville and to Fort Rucker in Alabama, the state of Texas educational system. So it's gone beyond the Bartlett area, but it's just been so much fun to do this. And can I just say a thank you to two other people?
Sure.
I want to thank Susan Tanner for having faith in me and asking me. She kind of gave me a kickstart on this, and she's the one that nominated me. She asked me to make some for Robinwood, where her mother is a resident. So that's kind of how I got started. And then I have a friend that I call my soul sister. If you don't know what a soul sister is, that's a friend of yours that goes way beyond being your best friend. I had a little hiccup in April when I couldn't get any elastic. Not to mention the fact that she goes out and finds me some, brings it to me, brings me material to make for her, for Esri Communication. So I want to thank Cheryl Esri and Esri Communications for helping me through this time. And that's my story. I'm still making them. I'll make them till this COVID-19 goes away, whenever that is. We can only pray that it will be soon.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. That's great. Now, we want to get a photo of you and the congressman and others at the close of this meeting, but right now we'll go on with the program. But okay, so stand down over here, I guess. I guess you want to. Whoa, this light's bright. Come on over here. Yeah, we'll go over here. Yeah. Okay. Come on over here. What do you keep shouting? Nah, then you know what. Yeah, okay, we do it later. So anyway, we'll do it later. Just hang on to this. But here's the plaque. That light is really bright. But that's the check.
And I'm
Okay.
assistant.
Oh, you want to think about it? Okay.
I forgot to, I'm overwhelmed, I don't know what I'm supposed to say, but to say thank you to the chamber is really a small gesture. There are many other things I could say, but thank you just covers it all. And I want to thank First South Financial for their generous award. And I will promise you that that award will be reinvested in the Bartlett area and keep it into our city. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Kim. And we'll get the photo later, okay? So, and I know that the mayor, Mark Brown, appreciate you spending your money here in Bartlett. Okay, folks, we're going to our guest speaker. But before I introduce him, I'm going to do another real quick Q&A. Let's see here. Okay. I hope somebody got the last question. Okay, the next question is, now this is getting a little bit more technical now. I'm trying to throw a couple of curveballs here. Okay, the question. The Trail of Tears route passed over what Bartlett Road? The Trail of Tears. Okay, you got to be kind of a historian to know some of these questions. They answer these questions. The Trail of Tears, and if you are very observant driving down this road, you might see the sign actually. But anyway, if you know the answer to that question, chat it in, and then we'll let you know whether you won. And the door prize, whichever prize it is that you get, and you have to go to us, is Pamela, our new Bartlett Express chief editor. So, Pamela, congratulations. Okay, without further ado, and I've got a little bio here, Congressman. I want to read this a little bit because I know everybody knows you, and I just dropped all the winners of that. Okay, let me give you a little background of the congressman here. David Kustoff, he is a true Memphian or West Tennessean. He was born and raised here in Shelby County. He attended White Station High School. He received his undergraduate degree from the University of Memphis and graduated in 1992 from the University of Memphis Law School. Okay. In 1992, Kustoff opened a law firm in Memphis, Tennessee. And you had a partner, did you not, Congressman, in that? Back in the old days, it was real smart for lawyers, they opened up a business, to have one in one party and one in the other, correct? You don't see that, I don't think, much anymore. But you know what? That was a smart move, I think, back in the day. Some of you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But he was appointed U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Tennessee by President Bush in 2006. Kustoff sets his sights, during that time, he set his sights on cleaning up government corruption and fighting violent crime and drugs. There's a couple of people that he was successful in putting away. I won't go into that. Governor Bill Haslam appointed David to the Tennessee Higher Education Commission in 2015, where he oversaw the implementation of the Tennessee Promise program, which you're all familiar with, I'm sure, that provides last dollar community college scholarships in Tennessee Reconnect, designed to help adults complete their college degrees. In 2018, David was elected to his second term in the House of Representatives for the 8th District of Tennessee. That means that your first term was in 2016, right? I don't know why that's in there. He is a member of the House Financial Services Committee and serves on 3 subcommittees: Consumer Protection and Financial Institutions, Diversity and Inclusion, and Housing, Community Development, and Insurance. David and his wife, Roberta, live in Germantown and have 2 children. Congressman, it's a pleasure.
Thank you, John. Let me have turned it off. Can you all hear me in the back? So? Good? Okay, good. Well, first of all, it's an honor to be here. I got to tell you, John, it's an honor to be anywhere. It's good, isn't it good to be out and with people and make you feel good? So for those of you watching at your offices or at home, we miss you. We're adhering to the 50-person limit. I think we've got right at 50 people here today, and it's good to see everybody. It's good to be with everybody. And if I could recognize Senator Rose for just a moment, I was thinking it was 2 weeks ago right now that you and I were in Bartlett. We were campaigning. It was election day. 2 weeks ago today, you won your primary. You won with a strong vote. What'd you get, 70-something% of the vote? I got to tell you something. I don't think Putin gets that type of vote in Russia. So I don't know what you did, but you're pretty strong, and we appreciate you very much. Good job. Boy, it's good to see you today. And I got to tell you, I want to brag on Bartlett. I want to brag on the medical device industry that you all do such a good job right here in Bartlett. And it's comprehensive. And you know that by the number of different companies and manufacturers that we have in Bartlett in the medical device industry. And I've got to tell you, several months ago, before COVID-19 hit earlier this year, I went and toured the renovated, that time still renovating, Bartlett High School. So Mayor McDonald, Dr. Stevens, members of the Board of Aldermen, members of the school board took me around the school. And I was very impressed. Mark, what is it? It's a $60 or $65 million renovation? As of now. Mark says as of now. I mean, it's very impressive, but one thing that I was particularly impressed with was I took a tour of the part of the school where we are training young men and women, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, so that they can go either straight from high school or maybe to a technical school right into the medical device industry, or straight from high school right to these great companies in Bartlett. And what is also more impressive about that is these young men and women from Bartlett High School, they're walking into some great jobs that can start out at $40,000 and $50,000 and $60,000. And think about that. They get to go into these jobs without any student debt. I mean, right in it. But they get the training right here at Bartlett High School. So I couldn't be more proud of what the Bartlett education system, the school system is doing, and certainly for the good jobs that are being offered right here in Bartlett. There's no reason to leave home. So, you know, John, if I was speaking 6 months ago to the Bartlett Chamber, I'd be talking about record low unemployment, probably one of the strongest economies, Randy, that we've seen in our lifetime or anybody's lifetime, and then COVID-19 hit. And I will tell you, I was talking earlier about the friction in Washington, and it exists. And I've got to tell you, some days it's like a knife fight. But right when COVID hit, and I'm talking about, you remember that time in mid-March, I am proud that Congress came together, Republicans and Democrats, specifically as it pertains to what's known as the CARES Act. Now, the CARES Act, in the end, it was a little over $2 billion. It's now close to, $2 trillion with a T, almost $3 trillion. Money to hospitals, money to medical companies to help work on designing the therapeutics and the vaccines. More on that in just a moment. Money for small business, money for certain distressed industries. But probably one of the best things I think that we did as a Congress and as a nation is work on a program that a lot of you know about now called the Paycheck Protection Program. So for small business, was a lifesaver for so many small businesses. It gave money in terms of, for many, forgivable loans, as long as small business used that for payroll, for rent, for mortgage interest, for utilities, and for other expenses. And I've also got to tell you, you talked about SunTrust. There's so many banks here in Shelby County and in West Tennessee, community banks and regional banks. They really stepped up. The program came online about a week after we approved it in Congress because these small businesses needed the money. The banks worked nights, they worked weekends, Easter Sunday on behalf of their customers so that their clients, their customers, could keep their doors open. And again, it kept people on the payroll. We did it right, and I'm very proud of it. Now, one complaint that I heard is that in the rush to get this done, we made an enhanced unemployment benefit, probably for the area that I represent, and most of the country, a little too generous. We approved an enhanced unemployment benefit of $600 per week on top of the state unemployment benefit. So what that meant was that some people literally were making more money on unemployment than they would if they had gone back to their jobs. And so a complaint that I would hear from so many small business people, and a lot of my colleagues have too, is, we do appreciate the Paycheck Protection Program. It was able to keep us where we could open our doors and keep our lights open, but we can't get our employees back to work because they're making more money on unemployment than they were otherwise. And so that's something that I've taken to heart. And one other thing that we did, and I think it's important, is we gave, as a nation, stimulus checks of $1,200 to individuals making $75,000 and less. And I've got to tell you, actually, if you were somewhere between $75,000 and $99,000, you got a stimulus payment, but it was something less than $1,200. So you bring us up to where we are currently. And there is talk about another stimulus or relief package. And I'm telling you this, I certainly want to give enough time for questions. So John, you give me the signal so I can make sure that I have enough time for questions. A lot is being discussed in terms of whether we need another stimulus package, and if so, what does it look like? Now, I'll tell you that, of course, I'm a Republican. The Democrats want a stimulus package, relief package, that totals $3 trillion with a T. That actually came up for a vote in the House of Representatives back in late May. I voted against it because at that point in time, number one, I didn't think we needed it. Two, we hadn't spent all the money that we appropriated under the CARES Act. In fact, we still haven't. And third, I thought it was too much money. But there are negotiations that are going on, and I'm certainly willing to listen. I talked about how strong the economy was 6 months ago. We know that now, while the markets, frankly, have gone back up, and Randy, I guess the S&P and the NASDAQ have actually exceeded where they were before the markets hit their low. The Dow may be still a little bit below. The economy is still on unsteady ground. And I recognize that and I appreciate it. So if there is another relief package, there are things to consider. And I just throw this out again for you to think about. Will there be, and does there need to be, additional paycheck protection money? Does there need to be additional stimulus money sent to individuals? Maybe at the same level that we did before, maybe at different income levels and payment levels. Mark, for cities and states that have been impacted because of COVID-19, no fault of their own, do they need some relief from the federal government? And I'll say this about about the city of Bartlett and about the state of Tennessee. You all know that historically, Tennessee and Bartlett have been very well fiscally managed. Mark, I applaud you. I applaud certainly Mayor McDonald and your board. You've done a great job managing and not spending more than what you take in. That's the way most people and most businesses operate. But COVID-19 is not your fault, certainly not the state of Tennessee's fault. So under the CARES Act, we gave money, we as a nation, to cities and states that they were to use only for COVID-19 related expenses. Now, one thing that we could do is if you've got unspent money, is giving, and I'm using the word flexibility, to these city and state governments. There's also a chance that there could be additional money appropriated for non-COVID-19 related reasons. And I think all that is to be seen. One more thing about a potential vaccine and the therapeutics. I noted that there was money appropriate under the CARES Act. One very good positive thing that President Trump did was he authorized the implementation of what's known as Operation Warp Speed. And essentially what that did is that gave the drug makers, the ability to work and develop and produce a vaccine and cut a lot of the FDA red tape. So now you've got several companies right now that are at stage 3 of developing a vaccine. And I'm very encouraged by that. And also the strong work that they've done developing different therapeutics to treat people who in fact have COVID-19. We couldn't have done that without President Trump's leadership. Now, I'm on what they call a district work period. So I've been traveling around West Tennessee the last several weeks, been called back to Washington for a vote on Saturday as it relates to the Postal Service. And let me, if I can, just give you some facts about the Postal Service. Number one, the amount of money that Speaker Pelosi wants, that she has called us back to vote on, is $25 billion additional dollars for the post office. Now, what we understand is that right now, as it is, the post office is solvent, if we didn't do anything else, through August of next year, August of 2021. In addition, we as a nation, under the CARES Act, we authorized $10 billion as a line of credit if the post office comes into a crunch. A lot of this that you're hearing about and seeing about online in the news, frankly, relates to voting and the states that vote by mail. The way some of these states operate by mail, it is a mess. It's an absolute mess. And I want to give you one example, and that's New York, which doesn't do anything right. So New York had a primary in late June, and a lot of their ballots are done by mail. They set the rules, New York State does, how people get the mail ballot, when they mail it in, when it's due, all that stuff. The way they operate it, I'm not sure that it's the fault of the post office, but there were still ballots coming in almost 6 weeks later. There were 2 congressional races in New York. Again, they had their races in late June. They weren't called until about 2 weeks ago. Okay? And there were several thousand ballots that New York State didn't count because of the way they set their rules. A lot of this is due to postal reform, which some of it was implemented under President Obama's watch. Between 2011 and 2016, when President Obama was president, the Postal Service removed about 12,000 of these blue boxes around the country where people mail, where you may use your mail. Here's the bottom line. You know, the way we do things, the way we use the mail service, it's changed. things change. You know, the way we do banking changes. We don't see the need. You talked about the merger between SunTrust and BB&T. They felt like they had to get bigger, in part because of the technology, because people who are younger than me, they don't go into a physical bank branch. If they want to make a deposit, they use their phones. They get cash, if they use cash, out of an ATM, and they transmit it through other means like Venmo and whatnot. Banking has changed. The way we buy airline tickets has changed. We don't go to a travel agent anymore. We do it online. Things change. And the fact of the matter is that the United States Postal Service is operating in a Blockbuster video store environment when we're in a Netflix world. It's a different world. People get a lot of their bills by email. They pay their bills online. The Postal Service has to revise itself. You know, there's a reason that Walmart and Target are thriving and Sears is in bankruptcy. And that's because you've got to learn to adapt, and the Postal Service must learn to adapt. So I'm going to be going up and voting on a bill that's perfunctory, that may not see the light of the day in the Senate, and is certainly an unnecessary appropriation of funds. But anyway, I'll take a flight up there tomorrow and hopefully come back home Saturday night. And then we've got a few weeks in September that we'll be legislating, and then I know this is going to shock you, the way the Democrats control the schedule. We're home in October and not in Washington doing the nation's crucial business because people want to go home and campaign. So with that, let me say this to you all. You're on the front lines. You're operating small business. You're making this community, you're making Shelby County and West Tennessee and this nation click. I appreciate you all. You do a great job, and may God bless you all. Thank you very much. We got time for-
Congressman, your folks are telling me that you got to be out of here by 1 o'clock, so we can take a few questions. So Q&A, folks.
Chris?
David, would you tell us about the president's executive orders? A lot of people think that's law and they're going to be getting money from you.
Yeah. So the president has issued several executive orders. He did that about 2 weeks ago. He did it. He wants Congress to control the purse strings and to make authorizations. My opinion, Congress has been derelict. And again, I'm here and not in Washington discussing some of these issues. I told you that there was an enhanced unemployment benefit. That actually expired in July, late July, a couple of weeks ago. So the president, if you will, took a middle ground and under his executive order authorized an enhanced unemployment benefit that is temporary, and it's less than what Congress had previously approved. But Chris, that's Congress's job. We need to be voting one way or the other on enhanced unemployment benefits and so many other issues, but Nancy Pelosi has had us home for 3 weeks. Are there other questions? Okay. With that, let me say this again. I really appreciate the opportunity anytime I have to speak to the Bartlett Chamber. So to the 50 of you here that's allowed by the ordinance, thank you very much. To the people watching at home and in your offices and wherever you may be, thank you again very much. It's an honor to do this job. And I'll remind you that we have an election coming up November 3rd. Regardless of who you're going to vote for president all the way down the line, just go out and vote. Thank you all very much.
Okay, I'm going to close it up. While I'm closing it up, I'm going to ask our table here, Steve, to get in front of Carolyn here or get to her side, and we're going to take a picture of that. And with that, I'm going to announce our call-in winners. But for those, okay. So the ones that won the door prizes. Let's see here. I think Daniel, you were the first one. You're going to get this Linkotech day pack, okay? Now, Linkotech is one of our fastest growing medical device companies here in town. They also got some other stuff in here. So, Daniel, this is yours. And let's see, Bob, you would never say anything. You're going to get 1 hour free, 2 of them actually, of main event, okay? Main event here. And let's see here. Who else? Okay, Bill. Champagne or wine from Ava Maria, okay? And then the last, let's see, that was Pamela. You also going to get 2 free passes, 2 hours worth of. Oh. Okay. Mass confusion over here. Okay, for our chat-in callers, okay, here are the winners. John Churchill, cheated, I'm sure. Marion Ryman, Marion, appreciate you watching. Michael Patrick with Brimhall Snack Foods. I wonder which one he won, which question he got. And then Susan Wilson. Okay, so you 4, thank you for watching. You know the drill. Call Kathy. She'll get those gift certificates to you. Don, come on up here real quick. Don Fisher, who's with Southwest, Mid-South Quality Production Center. He's got a few things he wants to tell you real quick.
Great. Thank you, John. We just wanted to mention that we've got some training going on here. During COVID-19, we're trying to keep a safe distance. We have one at Lean Six Sigma Institute, which starts September 15th. We're going to do most of it online, but we're going to have about 3 to 4 classes that'll be in person. And you can get your black belt, green belt certification. We're the only ones in the state that offers an institute like this. So this would be great for GMMDC members. We also have a mini-tab statistical software 1/2-day course to help you with using data to make decisions against. There are over 4,000 colleges that use this around the country. We're offering it at night, one night, October 14th from 5:30 to 8:30 for $149 for chamber members. And lastly, we have a virtual root cause analysis we're offering October 26th through 29th at night in the morning from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we're trying to break it up where you can actually do this at your office or do it at home. You don't have to leave work to do them. So we have some really exciting things, and these are all on your gmmdc.org website. So the medical device website, gmmdc.org. So we hope you'll look us up and attend our classes. Thanks, John.
Thank you. Okay, I think that's going to do it. Anyone got any comments, questions, new business, whatever? If not, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you very much, folks. Hope to see you next month.